Who, me?
Yeah, you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Can We Get Canceled Thursday. We are back.
Well, you got me on here, so probably the odds are probably pretty good.
We're back for another riveting episode of the Road Dog Coffee Podcast, episode 28, matter of fact. So we're gonna have a good time. You see, we got a full house today, pretty much full house. So we're going to talk about a lot of things. Going to talk about some trucking stocks. Going to talk about a little bit about the SCOTUS ruling, because I've even had some neighbors come up to me and just blurt out some flat out freaking obscene lies. I'm like, where are you hearing this crap from? So really would like to address some of that stuff. But in the meantime, why don't you go fill up your what Adam?
In between times.
In between times. In the meantime. In between times. Whatever Adam said. He's the English major here. Go fill your cup.
Song lyrics, you
we'll be back in 30 seconds. All right.
Well, it's another fine, hot, steamy, humid day here in North Carolina.
Good morning.
You know, it's very interesting you say that, because here in Florida, I don't think we've gotten above 82 degrees in the Panhandle at all this year so far. Normally, we're in the upper 90s by now.
It's hot over here.
Yeah, it's hot here.
Oh, I know.
At least we're not living in Europe where it's like 82 and people are just keeling over left and right.
Bro, I'd be laughing about that stuff. When I see those things, they're like, we have a heat wave in the high 80s. I'm like, dude, that's a cold front here. What the fuck?
Right? Seriously. Bunch of sissies.
Oh, my God.
Well, it gets really messed up when you dig into it because, one, like a lot of their houses are old and they don't have air conditioning. They don't have the proper windows to even install like a window unit.
Right.
And a lot of houses don't even have ceiling fans. So these guys just sit in their boxes and get cooked.
Yeah, we had 87 with 92% humidity on Monday or Tuesday, and I was out in it. I was miserable.
I think today's the hottest day in Winston-Salem. It's 87 for the high, but the humidity is just already through the roof.
So we're going to be in the 90s. We're going to be in the 90s here from today until next Tuesday. Mid 90s, and I just want to say, boy, how stereotypical is this that we're a bunch of old guys sitting here talking about the damn weather over coffee.
88 degrees and 80% humidity today, boys.
Man, I felt that pressure change in my hip this morning.
It's gonna rain this afternoon. All the cows are pointed the same direction.
Up again.
Hey guys,
God, I haven't heard that expression in years.
My grass is looking good.
What, Jeff? Sorry. What's that, bro?
Last week we lost a really good friend, Rob Busey. Can we just have a moment of silence for him? He was a great guy. Worked for BWS. His son was into Godzilla. Loved his family. Loved his business. He was a legend. Let's take a minute of silence just for my friend, man. He was a good guy, really good guy.
No, amen.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, that that news was, I mean, it was surprising everyone. We won't stay on it in a negative light, but only in a positive. When Hunter broke that to me Monday or what I believe, or Tuesday morning, complete threw me back. I don't think, probably no one on this screen knew what that guy was going through, but anyone who has ever had any type of interaction with Rob, it was a positive one. I never got to meet the guy, but you know, I got to hang out with him on a couple podcasts, and we've done some DMing back and forth on LinkedIn. Just super great guy, very awesome. And what everyone said about him was so true, that man, he always cared more about hearing what you had to say than telling you what was on his mind. So definitely sad that he's
He
gone.
was a legend for sure in his part of the business. And man, you know, he was more about his family than his business. Always talked about his wife and his son and going to Godzilla events. You know, I mean, he just cherished his son, and you could tell that you know, they were so important to him, and he always made you feel more important than himself. You're right, Rob, man. He definitely did that, and you know, I met him a few times, and very cordial, very knowledgeable, just an all around kind, good guy.
Yeah, it was. He sure was. So what do we want to talk about first, gentlemen?
Well, first, it's the week of Memorial Week, so you know you got to celebrate the fallen, you know, the guys that never made it home, and you know, say a prayer for their families. You know, I'm sure it's a difficult week for them.
I know I celebrated it, bro. I have I'm controversial in my celebration, man. I saw a bunch of people talk about this actually online this week about I don't know how you say it. They were like, you know, a lot of people, I don't take the day off. I'm still working, you know, blah, blah, you know, our veterans never take a day off. And I was like, you know what? That's true, man. That's very, very true. But I don't know. I see the end of it. I don't work on any military holiday. I'm telling you, I will work Christmas, Thanksgiving. I don't work Veterans Day. I don't work Independence Day. I don't work Memorial Day. And I feel, one, that's just my right as a veteran. But two, that is literally what all of those people who we celebrate those things fought for, was for you to enjoy the freedom and celebration of being an American, man. So, dude, we freaking barbecued it up, man. Drank a few beers, you know what I mean? I mowed the yard, bro. You know, mowed the grass.
I went wild Monday. No pun intended. I smoked 3 racks of ribs, some chickens.
Yeah.
Did all the sides from scratch. Invited my neighbors over. It was a party.
Heck yeah, bro. I think that's what those holidays are for, man. Brisket. And I'll tell you, honestly, I used to think the opposite before I served in the military. I say the same thing. Oh, man, I'm going to work. Like, this is what I'm going to do. But I don't know. You know, I got a sense it's like, man, this is what this is about, bro. Being an American, celebrating your freedom and the sacrifice those folks made, brother. Heck yeah, dude.
I spent my Memorial Day on the phone with the daughter of an airman that I lost in 2004. She graduated college this year. So it's been great to watch her grow up, even though her father was never there to be able to do that.
That's nice.
Hell yeah, bro. That's a positive thing. See, that's what it's about, man. You know, you were there supporting her, bro. You know, that's what this is all about, dude. But yeah, good one, man. You know, we got Independence Day, 4th of July, you know, whatever term you want to call it. We got that one coming up here not too long. I love that one, dude. That's
250.
What?
250.
The birthday of America, too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, 250. Yes, I know.
You know, there's a wonderful road sign here on I-10, I-110 near my house that says America's 250. The speed limit is not.
I love that.
I like that.
Well, unless you're out in what is it?
What's up, Leo?
Wyoming, Montana, where they don't have speed limits on the open roads out there.
Oh, did they open that up again? I
don't know. Know that they
when I first went to Montana, in it was 99, and in 99 they were just changing it back to where they were were putting speed limits on all the roads that didn't have speed limits before. So I didn't get to enjoy that wide open Autobahn bullshit. Damn. Oh well.
Boy, I did, and I took really good
advantage
of it.
Must be nice.
I would love to find one of those. I would love to find one of those original classic signs. You know what the sign said when it was like no speed limit? It says, speed limits daytime or nighttime 65, truck 65, daytime reasonable and prudent.
Yeah.
How proper.
I like that.
Yeah, and
well, that way, if you wreck, they can still charge you for driving recklessly and exceeding the
They
speed.
did not think 180 was prudent.
Hey, listen, Florida's got the super speeder law
You know
now,
the
man.
Corollas go that fast?
That's right, Adam. Yeah.
Florida's got the super speeder law. They ain't playing, son. You go over 100 miles an hour or you do over 30 on the posted speed limit, your ass is going to jail.
Yeah.
Was it 30? I thought it was 20.
Or your bike.
Each state's different. Arizona's over 20.
It got so bad in Florida. There was like other cops that were getting pulled over by other cops because they were, driving crazy.
Oh yeah.
There's an old viral video down in like Miami. It was I think Miami PD officer pulling over like a local county sheriff deputy, and he was like, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm late for work."
I saw that.
So what?
I saw that video.
Yeah, that was from like years ago.
Yeah.
Just because the police are on the clock doesn't mean that they get the speed anytime they want. I mean, there's a law out there that they have to, abide by the state regs. If it's 45, you do 45. You can't just throw on the Twin Sonics and start doing 90, in the middle of rush hour and stuff because you got to get somewhere. Whatever.
And
there was
I'm
a
surprised
big controversy back home when a cop pulled over a fire truck for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I'm surprised it took this long because like states like Virginia, it's been known forever. Like, do not fucking speed over 15 over in Virginia because once you're 15 over, it's not a civil penalty anymore; it's a criminal penalty.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: having been an emergency vehicle operator, emergency vehicles are not subject to those rules while responding to an emergency. However, you are held to a standard of care or a standard of caution. You have to drive with due regard for the safety of others.
I've always heard the ambulances and stuff had a cap that they couldn't go over.
So
cap. Even
in the last 8 or 10 years, the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, put in speed limiters on fire apparatus. Mm-hmm. Most fire apparatus can't go over 62 miles an hour now. Wow. So
yeah, because most of them are in town anyway.
You see us on the highway now, and people are passing us because we're doing 62, and they're flying past us doing 80. Yeah, which I don't like. I'm that asshole. I'll take up both lanes of traffic, so you're just doing 62 with me until I get off. But it's
you're gonna kill somebody, but cool.
Listen, man, you don't see the big old flashing lights. That ain't on me.
Hey, no. I agree with you there. When the lights are on, dude, you got to respect it.
You got to pull over. You got to let them have free passage.
Mm-hmm. Unless Adam's
it's so stupid because you act like you're so inconvenienced, and the fact remains is if you just pull over, we'll be past you in 15 to 20 seconds. Then you don't have to worry about us.
It's one of the things I learned being a Yankee, moving into the South. In the South, when you have police, ambulance come by, everyone just pulls the hell over and the ambulance just keeps on going, but up north, around Philly, Delaware, Maryland, no, everyone just sits there. Ambulance, you're gonna wait your freaking turn. And I'm just like, I can't believe I used to have that mindset.
Just down here in the South, it's different. A funeral, everybody pulls over and turns on their flashers out of respect. Yeah. You don't see that anywhere but the South.
Now up here, we're in Sparta, we've got a few funeral parlors, and, they go through the red lights. They have one of the guys with the flags out there. They stop and they proceed. Everybody moves out of the way. It just depends, I guess, in what county and what state that you're in. But there's a lot of nice people out there that, care for others and let others, especially, if there's a funeral or fire, a traffic accident and cops, whatever, But yeah, you're right. I mean, New York City, forget about it. They'll be sitting there for hours on end before they get to the fire and the place will be gone. But on the other hand, too, people you should take into consideration what happens if that was happening to you and you're having a fire. You needed them. It's just like people don't think that way.
Nobody thinks so. Everybody's so self-absorbed nowadays, man.
True. Yep. Very true.
I remember my father's favorite saying on the road was, yes, as a matter of fact, I do own the road, because he would never get out of the left lane when someone was faster.
Yeah, nowadays people are shooting.
Yeah, I mean, out here on Route 80, it's always the Pennsylvania 500. I mean, I could be doing 80 miles an hour in the fast lane, And these suckers go by you, even on a Jersey Turnpike, like you're sitting still, man. Sitting still every single morning when I was
going up. I was on North 59 between Texarkana and Marshall Tuesday, and I was doing 75, and I got passed by somebody that had to be doing every bit of 100 on a US 4 lane.
Yep.
And it was a Beetle.
What? I didn't know they went that fast.
The new Beetles, oh my God, they've got some serious torque. Holy crap, they got
maybe the Golf, the SI Golf or something like that. I mean, they're fast, but a regular Beetle, I would never think that.
Well,
boy, it got quiet. What happened?
Sure did. It's busy as hell.
Sorry, I got like 4 other chats going on here.
Let's talk about those stocks, those transportation stocks that Pedro mentioned.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll pull up the video of the video.
I think it's going to be a good time for some consolidation,
dude.
Mergers going on.
I just moved some of my money, man. I literally just pretty much split half of my investment account with Schwab and put into some stuff that my dad just told me about. I don't know. If it weren't for my dad, I would have no idea what I'm doing in the stock market. Honestly, don't know what I'm doing in the stock market. My dad just sends me stuff. Says, "Put your money here."
A financial planner, dude. Well, you have your dad.
I do. It's called my dad. Dude, the guy is he's fucking smart, man. He used to do day trading like back in the 80s and 90s, and I mean, made stupid money at times. And he always tells me the biggest mistake he ever made was not investing in Yahoo when they went public. So he has a friend that is like buku rich from doing that. He told my dad, like, Bob, you need to put a bunch of your money here. My dad's like, nah, that internet stuff's never going to go anywhere. He was one of those guys.
Investing before they went public. Investing before they went public and then selling very quickly because it did not work out so well for Amazon in the end. Or
my family never had money, but back in the 20s and 30s, there were guys going door to door selling stock in Coca-Cola. Could you imagine if you could have afforded just 10 shares of that?
Yeah. No, my dad's pretty smart. He's a long term. He's a long term guy now, man. Like he literally just sent my son's money to invest in an IRA and a brokerage account. Told him exactly where to put it, and he sent him a whole thing. He's like, hey, if you invest this amount of money every month, starting now, by the time you are ready to retire at 65, you'll be a multimillionaire. So, and it's little bit. It's just a little bit of money, but anyway. The stocks. So story comes from Yahoo Finance, and it says Pangea, Covenant Logistics, and Landstar share skyrocket, and what you need to know. They say that the stocks jumped in the afternoon session. When was the story? I don't know if it was today or yesterday. Oh, this is from Tuesday, so they're talking about Monday. A number of stocks jumped in afternoon session after crude oil fell 4.7%, providing direct margin relief to trucking, rail, and logistics companies that have a spendable size percentage of operating cost on fuel. They say operators like Old Dominion, Knight Swift, JB Hunt, Schneider, Union Pacific, FedEx, UPS, Norfolk Southern, a bunch of others, was one of the most direct beneficiaries of the falling oil prices. This is a long article, so I'm just cruising through it, guys. Let me see here. Pangea, Spencer. Pangea jumped 4.1% from Monday to Tuesday. Ground transportation company Covenant Logistics, they jumped 4%, and Landstar jumped 4.2%. Reason I actually wanted to bring this article up today is because Jeff and Adam both have an affiliation with Landstar, and a large focus of the rest of this article is on them, and they talk about how good a Landstar stock is. And it says that they're not very volatile. They've only had 4 moves greater than 5% over the last year, which they say is very good to comparative stocks in the market overall. In the context, they said that move indicates that the market considers this a news meaningful. Also, they say it's a fundamental change of perception of their business, blah, blah, blah. The previous big move, they say 22 days ago, their stock, Landstar stock, only dropped 2.5%. So, pretty good stuff. They're basically, saying, like I said, Landstar's pretty good stock. So I honestly am about to go move some of my money into Landstar.
Well, a lot of the
Buy some shares of it.
anytime that there's a move in oil, if it's high and it drops, I mean, it's a natural thing for all the transportation stocks stuff.
RXO
Trump,
was
stuff like
the
that,
big
but it's
winner.
gonna level off.
They were RXO
level
was another one they say saw a really good climb. Adam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RXO was the big winner last week, but I mean, here's the nuts and bolts of it. We've been a stable, well-managed, financially sound company for coming up on what, Jeff, 32 years?
Oh, probably more than that.
Longer than that, 1988. So
Yeah, 1988. Yeah, long time.
So, everybody has their haters, but when you talk about stock price and valuation and safety, it's a pretty safe stock to invest in.
I say so. Yes, sir.
Well, the oil price, they say the barrel of oil and they say the fuel price went down, but we don't see it at the pump. I mean, the guys, the big guys like Landstar and Warner and all those that buy their own fuel and have fuel at their yards, yeah, they see the savings. But the truck stop overall, the truck stops, if it went down 4 or 5 cents this week, it'll take 2 weeks for it to go down 4 or 5 cents, and in that time, it's gone down another 10 or 12 cents.
Well, that's the problem I have with truck stops. Truck stops price their fuel on convenience, which is murder for a trucker. When I had my box truck fleet, I would have my fleet drive inland from an interstate a mile.
Yeah, at least
to take advantage of 20 cents less on fuel, or more. I mean, it was a considerable savings just to go off the interstate and just 1 mile.
Well,
I
saved so much money doing that.
Much because I try to keep my distance on shows and stuff. But you guys that have fleets should look into signing up for Landstar Savings Plus because I do believe you get the fuel discounts that we get. So,
yep,
and you get quick paid in 2 days.
Well,
yes.
we have pretty good discounts at like the TA and stuff like that through our fuel card. But even still, I mean, it's still higher than what these big guys get it for. And I mean, they earn, I guess you could say they earn the right to be able to get that cheap because
when you're buying in
it's taken
volume
them
for
30 years
8,000
to grow
trucks.
this big.
Yeah,
well, there's a
when you're
big
buying in volume
controversy
for 8,000 trucks versus what you got 30.
I mean, the only small fleets that can take advantage of something like that are like the local delivery guys. That was one of the great things that I enjoyed when I was doing residential final mile. I actually had a 500-gallon tank at my warehouse that they topped off every week, and I got it at the bulk price instead of the retail price. So for my local delivery fleets, man, I saved a bunch of money on fuel.
So
it was my over-the-road guys who suffered.
So with fuel prices, there's we all know that it comes down to your state local taxes on fuel and stuff like that. The gas tax, right? But there's it was on Fox Business the other day. I forgot what her name is. She was talking about it, and I've heard a lot of rumblings about it where we don't need Iranian oil. We already know that.
Yep.
So our oil that we get here, what we extract has to be sent off. Then we purchase it to bring it back. But the big oil and gas companies are purposely keeping the prices high. They can drop them overnight if they want to, but they're not because they're making massive profits right now.
Yeah, they're making money. That's what it's all about.
Right. But so this, I know the Trump administration's already got to be looking at that, but because that hurts his legacy, right? So I think, eventually it's going to come to a head that he's going to turn his sights on those guys and say, look, you better cut it out.
Yeah, I heard that. I read something that the administration was looking to cut the fuel gas tax by
The
7.
the federal tax they did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
I heard they were going to
don't
suspend
know
it.
where that stands now.
They did. They did,
Yeah.
but I mean, overall, it's not. It didn't
That's
bring
not
the
a lot.
prices down
That's not
because
that's
you
not a
still-
lot.
Well,
because most
the
of the
federal
local and
the
state-
federal
most of the
tax
local and state
on diesel is
taxes are higher.
16%.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
16%. If they
Yeah.
suspended the federal tax, that everyone should have taken huge notice.
And it goes back to what you said earlier, John, about convenience. So when they refine it, when they get everything off, the first thing to come off is kerosene, right? Kerosene's just crap. Then diesel comes off because that's the next worst thing, and then they start going down the list for gasoline. But because I've when we had our trucking company, I've had people ask me all the time, well, how do you know? This is back in the mid 2000s during the housing boom when everything was going to shit. But I've had people ask me that why is diesel so expensive? And it's like the second thing that comes off the top, right?
Because speculators are
Convenience.
assholes.
Well, convenience, because so many things run on diesel, trains, trucks, and the industry knows that they can keep those prices high because, I mean, that's the majority
have to
use
pay
of
it.
diesel.
Yeah,
If you
we
look
don't
at the
have a
ocean
choice.
vessel world, just in that, just the ocean carriers, how many vessels you see on
It's all
vesselfinder.com?
driven by greed and
It's what they call a captured market, and it's
right.
what these douchebags don't understand is they are hurting the American economy with that while they're making their quick buck, because the carriers who are already stretched thin due to the last 3 years of the shit we've been through
Mhm.
are now not able to cover their freaking fuel bill,
Right.
even though rates are up.
Well, here's the thing: it's common sense. So keep fuel prices low. People have more money to spend in the economy on other things, right? So it's so stupid that things are like they are because
the fuel prices affect everything. It's not just
Oh,
about you having the more
Yeah,
money.
no,
like
it-
everything
inflation
becomes
will
cheaper.
inflate
In me, the
absolutely
point is
everything. Every
Yeah.
sector of the economy.
Everything becomes cheaper. And see, and people like people think, oh, it's just the fuel that goes in the vehicle, and man, it's like you have no idea what petroleum. It is literally in everything. Everything. It goes into everything. When it goes up, why do you think cosmetics go up? Why do you think all these other things go up? Because fucking oil is in all of those things. Like it's not just the transportation costs. So you get hit with it on multiple fronts.
I've never been a big fan of big government, but I can tell you right now that is one industry that it wouldn't hurt my feelings if the government regulated or controlled it.
You got that, and then I'm going to be the outspoken one and say they need to federalize the ports. Because
Yes.
the unions being able to hold the ports hostage for
Yeah.
money
Right.
is just
I agree
insane.
with that,
You
bro.
can't
We done that
stop
a couple
interstate
years ago
commerce.
on the East Coast. It was,
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a huge ordeal, man. Like it made daily news, national news,
Mhm.
and I mean that the guy,
Well,
the head of the Teamsters, was getting death threats.
I
because of
remember
everything that was happening.
when I was running port facilities in Savannah, there were two major strikes that took place at Long Beach, where the longshoremen strike, and each time over 30 ocean-going vessels that typically would call on Long Beach went through the Panama Canal to Savannah, Georgia.
Right.
And in those transfers, an immense amount of wealth and volume shifted from west to east and stayed. It amazed me how much of an impact that had, and if those guys were not so goddamn greedy, my stevedoring company had facilities out in Long Beach, and the stevedores, the senior management types, couldn't afford fuel to go into their cars to get to work. Yet the guys who were union, who were working the dock, they worked maybe 4 hours a day, and they were clearing hundreds of thousands a year, and they were pulling up in Lamborghinis and other expensive vehicles, and only had to work 6 months out of the year.
I watched the exact same thing play out when I was at the Packer terminal in Philly. Whenever a regular ship line comes to them, but they don't get offloaded and they go to like a non-union port, they plaster signs all over the office saying, "We will never have." So when I was there, it was Del Monte. Del Monte went to like the port of Atlanta or Augusta to get unloaded, and because it's not a union shop there, they like blacklisted everything. They said, "We're never going to have a Del Monte ship here ever again. stop buying Del Monte products. I'm thinking, you guys are just shooting yourselves in the foot so fucking hard with this. You have no idea. And the scheduling that they had, they would do 2 on 2 off shifts. So they'd come in, work 2 days, and then they have 2 days off, and they just did that in perpetuity. They do that because they can also have guys come in to cover their shifts too. They did the same thing at the GM plants. They would have guys on like two-man crews, but only one guy would show up, and they would rotate like a week off. So you have one guy come in, work the week while the other guy's out fishing, and then they just take turns.
Well, you know those gantry cranes. You know those gantry cranes that sit over top the ships? Okay. The union brings in 4 people per shift for each one of those cranes. And they work 2-hour segments on those cranes. So someone tell me about that. And they get paid for the entire day.
Easy money.
I blows my mind.
I know firsthand because my my daughter, her ex-fiance worked at the ports, and he was a longshoreman. And at 28 years old, he was making about $275,000 as a crane operator to offload those at the port, New Jersey and New York. And yeah, his whole family. I mean, it's just like you get on the list, the union list. You know, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your father, son, you know, grandson, whatever it might be. You get on that list, and once you get on that, you know, you're right. You got 4 shifts, and sometimes they do overtime, and they just sit there and just unload. Just sit up there on top of the crane. And just unload.
They just rake it in. I mean,
I want to defend them for
the union if you're going to get a chance to get in it yourself.
Yeah, I want to defend at least the crane operators. I want to defend them for a sec because they are moving massive amounts of volume and cargo.
I'll give you that. That is a hell of a skill. I will give you that.
And if you screw up, you're talking, you know, millions and millions of dollars in damages. So yeah, you want a well qualified, well compensated guy behind the seat of one of those things.
What's the latest on the
I won't argue
union
that.
to unionize Amazon?
You're right.
I know they were going after Amazon too for a while. Did they ever?
Yeah, that was the Teamsters. Yeah. Nothing new as far as I know.
Hey, talking about them, what do you guys think about them starting up that logistics operation with all the problems that they're having now?
Yeah.
My first thought when
they're gonna suck a lot of air out of people's sails with that. I can tell you that.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that was like, how much of Amazon's capacity is sitting idle if they're able to offer that kind of service to everybody?
Yeah.
Well, watch. See what happens with all that. They're gonna. I'm telling you, there's gonna be some serious consolidation in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I see a couple
and
things.
Amazon is going to probably go after
Amazon's
somebody and buy
3PL
somebody
offering.
how big.
I see a couple things happening. One, I see if a broker has dedicated lanes, regular dedicated lanes, probably not long distance, but probably like 1 day drive, like under 500 miles, then I could see Amazon snatching all that up and making that super cheap and convincing all these shippers that they need to do that. That's number one. Number two, I see Amazon being the first one to make the big switch to automated vehicles and then using AVs to run those dedicated routes.
They will.
I am willing to bet that is the direction it's going to end up.
Well, and also think about this:
How much you willing to
there's
bet?
no carrier. There's no carrier out there. Schneider, JB Hunt. There's nobody out there too big not to be acquired by Amazon.
Well,
you make a valid point.
I don't
But-
see them acquiring anyone unless they're like an autonomous vehicle company, because that's been Amazon's whole playbook this entire time. Is they just
I don't
throw as
think-
many bodies at whatever problem they have until they figure out a way to automate it. Like all the, you know, what was it? Up until like 2010, you know, if you worked at an Amazon warehouse, you're walking dozens of miles a day going up and down the rows picking products. That's all automated now. You stand at a post and everything comes to you.
I don't know if Amazon wants to be first in line with automation on their vehicles like that in a big way, because you know they've already had they've had so much scrutiny with the illegal drivers that they've had, and
I was going to touch
I
that
could be
and
wrong,
say,
but I just don't see them raising their hand to be first in line and say, okay, we're going to autonomize half our fleet
I
or
don't see
whatever.
them acquiring
It's
anybody
gotta be played out in
because of
court.
carrier liability now. They don't want those lawsuits. They're going to farm it out as much as they can.
But here's the other thing, and you probably read it, maybe you didn't. a lot of states out there are jumping on board, putting very strict regulations against autonomous vehicles.
Oh yeah,
they do
they've
not.
got to play on court first. There's got to be deaths,
and so that's going to squash that.
malfunctions.
Yeah, that's going to squash that, Spencer. When you think about Amazon and what they, what you're talking about doing that kind of stuff, they're going to be so highly regulated in there, or they won't be able to use autonomous vehicles. And
Well,
all the states and how many Amazon warehouses, mega warehouses they have in them.
The number one body that's going to, I think, my opinion, the number one body that's going to absolutely derail. It's not going to derail it to the fact that it's just going to go away. It might just kind of, delay it a while. But the number one body that's going to absolutely go ape shit is the general public. When things start happening, some terrorist group hijacks a truck and taps into the electronics on it, drops into a building. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, they've got the security on those things. I'm sure they've thought about all that stuff. They have. So, but there's always a workaround. It's funny that the national data breach. I was watching a little bit of an interview last night, and it was Tucker Carlson, and you had that kid on there that I forgot his website, but he actually pulled up Tucker Carlson's social security number, all his money he's got, scored away, and just all sorts of stuff. He was blowing his mind because of that national data breach thing that happened. And it actually happened in Florida. It was supposedly a sheriff that caused a lot of it, like 2.8 million people or something like that. But, they can have all the security they want, but somebody's going to tap it eventually. And then when they tap it, that's when chaos. But the general public's not going to stand for it, because I don't want to be riding down the road and you got an autonomous truck. Now, is it going to be kind of like the airlines are? It's kind of on autopilot, but you have a driver there to take over and if shit hits the fan, probably will, right? But eventually, that's going to get phased out. There's not going to be a driver in it. It's going to be a guy in a room. We've all seen the videos. We've all seen it. A guy sitting in a room on a computer screen driving that truck down the road.
Well, you know what?
Living in the Philippines, probably babysitting 100 other trucks.
I don't trust it. Because if that guy has a bad day at work and he gets pissed off, he's going to say, you know what? I'm going to create chaos. I don't care. I'm going to commit suicide, but I'm going to first drive this truck into a crowded...
GTA 6 in action, baby.
I mean, I'm just saying. But, and you hear people say, well, because I've always argued the fact that, okay, you've got a lot of truckers out there that are generational truck drivers, right? Their grandfathers drove, their dads drove, they're generational. So what else are they going to go do? That's all they know. Oh, they can go get another job and learn AI. It's not that easy, folks. It's not that
here's
easy.
Where autonomous vehicles fit. Yeah, here's where autonomous vehicles fit. One, yard jockeys. I can see that.
I agree with that.
And in the ports, China's the leader in that. In all their ports, they got the kids in this room with joysticks, and they're just operating.
Right.
Those autonomous vehicles that moves cans all over the place. That's the proper a place to implement them. On the highways, there's too much at risk right now, and just like with the EVs. And you probably read that. They rushed it to market. There's a lot of problems with it now. And Adam can back this up, where an EV fire, where it takes 3,000 gallons to put it, that takes 30,000 gallons to put out an EV fire. And then you have to bury the freaking thing, and it's still smoldering and
right
into molten lava over there.
The environmental side of it.
But there was an incident in Las Vegas, and I always use this in my argument, is that it was over a weekend, and not the autonomous vehicle, but the EV caught fire, and they had to shut the highway down in both areas in the middle of the desert. Why? Because of the high toxicity level. Now, take that same EV and put it in the middle of Manhattan. You've got a major problem, and they need more R&D on that kind of stuff.
So look at every video of one of those Waymo taxis. They get like 3 or 4 of them down a cul-de-sac, and they just completely jam up. Okay, make them 70-foot long vehicles now.
Yeah, but look at the one that drove into.
And here's another thing on the fire.
Didn't know what water is.
Is it gets so hot that it destroys the road that it that it would caught fire on.
Right.
They can't put it out, so once they do get it removed, then they have to repair the street.
Yep.
For people to be able to use it again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell you my insurance went up when I bought an EV significantly.
Really?
Like almost 40%.
So how many
And all
batteries?
respect for you went down.
So in a tractor, how many batteries was it that it took to pull 45,000 pounds or something in the truck? How many batteries does it take?
Well, I think it takes 2 battery packs.
Right.
But I don't know how many quote unquote batteries are in each pack.
Right. To pull
and that's just to get
loads and
6
stuff up the
to
hill.
I think I read somewhere that the the one that I was reading about said that it would only last about 6 hours. They could squeeze it to 7 if they did not do over 45, I think it was.
Right.
So I mean that was a lot of locals, the local companies that were using them.
I look at California, and they don't even have enough electricity to run their air conditioners out there. Imagine putting all these power stations out there for the EVs, because they want to go to EVs by the time 2035. Ain't going to happen. They don't have the infrastructure, and you got to look at that. There's so many different things they're not looking at before they want to go full blast with these EVs out there and autonomous vehicles and everything.
I know Texas right now is the big state for EV trucks. Texas, because that's where they're doing all their testing. A lot of and it's
the AVs. Well, I mean the AVs, not
and they actually delivered a coast to coast load, completely autonomous. A couple months
funny.
ago.
On a side note about this, tomorrow, my guest on the lounge is James Year. Justin knows this guy pretty well, like I do. He did a documentary. It came out last year, so I don't know, about a year and a half ago, on a More Perfect Union on YouTube, and it went viral. It's like 20 minutes long, and it's all about the AV stuff, and he digs deep into it, like goes beyond all the crap that regular mainstream media is telling you. And he's working on some new stuff right now. So he's coming on the show tomorrow to talk about all of this stuff that we're talking about. And this guy has got an insider's view or an insider's perspective, if you will.
James is one of the greatest autonomous vehicle disrespecters I have ever met. The guy, he will find every single one of these companies, find insiders, get sources, and just learn. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Pretty much every autonomous trucking company's business plan at the moment right now is spend $1 gazillion to create a fleet of autonomous trucks, and then pray to God that you get bought out by Amazon for $2 gazillion and then cash out. That's not happening. What's happening instead is the VC money dries up, these guys go bankrupt, and then their competitors snatch up their patents for pennies on the dollar.
Well, there was an article I saw come out. I didn't get a chance to read it, but somebody has said, maybe it was Hirschbach or one of them said that they had 10 autonomous trucks.
It was them.
Yeah,
It was Hirschbach.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the day of the truck driver is slowly going away.
Yeah. All this is
I mean,
is the-
used to, the autonomous trucks, they had to have a driver in there to monitor everything.
So let me ask you this:
But they're doing away with that.
So let me ask you this: so with you saying that, so the company, my company, Road Dog Coffee Company, and soon Road Dog Cigar Company. I got an update on that. People, have asked me in the past, well, how'd you come up with the name Road Dog Coffee Company, Road Dog, right? Well, you've heard the old saying, I've been running like a dog, right? So drivers out there, truckers out there, they run their asses off. They run like dogs, right? So if that happens, if truck drivers are slowly, diminishing, I guess I'm gonna have to change the name of the company from Road Dog to Electric Dog, right? Electric Dog Coffee Company or something.
Well, I mean, I think you're always gonna have. I think you're always gonna have some sort of truck driver.
No, you will.
Because even the autonomous trucks, they're not going to be able to. I don't think they're going to be able to pick up a trailer, and then
No,
come to Road Dog Coffee and make the delivery.
Right. Well,
I
go back
think
to
maybe
saying the general public's gonna
most
get
of the
behind
truck
this.
drivers going to go to final mile.
Right, right. And that, well, see, I don't know though. I mean, yeah, and that's possible. I've heard rumblings of it. It's going to be in reverse. You know, a lot of the last mile stuff is going to be autonomous. But I mean, who really knows? But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I think that you know, the general public's going to educate themselves a little more on this whole autonomous trucking thing. Yeah, I'm sure they love it, and with the Waymos and the taxis and stuff that's running around town. Hey, pick me up. I'm drunk. Go and drop me off over here. But when they're riding down the road with their families in the car and their kids, and there's a tractor trailer going down the road with 45 or 48,000 pounds on, or whatever it's hauling, and there's nothing, no driver in the seat. It's just completely autonomous. They're going to get a little weary of that. And then once things start happening with accidents and fatalities, multi-car fatalities and stuff, that's when the moms against trucking, or whatever the groups are going to be just coming out of the woodwork against this thing.
I've seen a lot more. I've seen a lot more on the some states trying to increase their max weight for trucks.
11,000 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And
They want to go to 90 or 100,000 pounds. And it's because of all these autonomous trucks, because they're so heavy.
Well, it's going to go back to what you said earlier. Now you got more road repairs.
Right.
You know,
Look at Michigan, Detroit.
There's guardrails, all that kind of stuff.
If I could chime in here, you know, like everything we're saying here, like they're all fantastic points. Every bit of it is true, you know, but the major underlying thing here is all of this autonomous stuff. We're talking about the trucking industry, but you mentioned Waymo. Like I've seen articles out there about taxi companies, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. They're all feeling this shit in Vegas. I think said this. I talked to an Uber guy there. Said the Waymos and the Zooms that are there, they're starting to kill their business. But the bigger thing here is that no one is seeing is that all of this is just a ploy to get rid of most companies' largest expense, which is fucking labor. That's it. This is all really all this is. This is not about convenience. This is not about safety, like they're saying about how humans are dangerous behind the wheel. This is all an effort to get rid of the largest overhead that most companies have, and that is your tax, and it's also your insurance cost. You have to have insurance on these employees. If you have employees, you have to have buildings. Like this is all a bigger thing here, and I want to make also this point. Because, Spencer, this is like, you keep saying that, the public. Nobody gives a shit about what the public thinks. And I'm going to use the data center stuff that's going on. Well, you think so, but here it is. All this data center stuff that is going on right now. There are tons and tons of cities across this country that are saying, we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this. And a council of 10 people are making a decision for hundreds of thousands of folks. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what the public is going to want if the cities and the councils are able to vote these things in, because that's what it is. You have to get permits and licensing and all this permissions to do this stuff. So the public can bitch, whine, and cry all we want to, unless we take it to an extreme level, like maybe DC or something. I don't think it's gonna have much. Look at Texas. How much do you think I hate that, man? That like we're allowing this autonomous stuff to go on in our state and being the proving ground for this crap when we have a massive economy based on trucks here, man. And I mean they're just want to completely push them out. And the next ploy they're talking about. I saw something that one of the things they want to do, and they're using it as the guise of safety, is they want to automate trucks coming across the border. Yeah, like basically transload on one side, it comes on a truck, and then that truck gets brought over the border, and it's offloaded over here to an American driver. Yeah,
driving a truck is the number one occupation for high school educated men in every single state, and I don't think these guys are really grasping the political ramifications of putting that many people out of work that quickly.
Well, Pedro,
Well,
going back to
and
what you
two,
said about
let's go back to the data centers and the AI centers and stuff. Has anybody looked at the water level over by the Hoover Dam? It is the lowest that it has ever been
Lake Mead.
since they did it.
Well, wasn't Kevin O'Leary was supposed to build the biggest AI-driven data center in the country, and the locals, they shot it down. He lost that battle.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I know, like over where Pedro's at, over in Austin, the what's that big lake over there, Pedro?
I mean Lake Travis.
Yeah, Lake Travis. Lake Travis. I don't know what it is. My wife, for the last 20 years, my daughter used to live over in Austin, and she just got where she would look at the water level at Lake Travis.
Right.
And Lake Travis stays low 90% of the time, and not just a foot or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 10 or 20 feet low all the time. And it's even getting worse now that what's his why can't I ever think of his the electric cars,
Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk's company.
Yeah.
And he's building what is it, Pedro? He's building a battery. Is it the battery facility over there, or
I don't know what they are building,
an AI
something
center or something, and it's going to
He
get
doesn't
worse.
care about the cars. He cares about the battery technology. That's what he wants. He wants to supply everybody the batteries. But talking about what and Jessica made a comment here. So going back to the AI replacing jobs and stuff, there was an interesting interview I watched the other day, and it was and it kind of really made a lot of sense. So we all know the AI, the first jobs that AI is going to take is a white collar. It's going to start from the top down. I got a feeling you're going to see a decrease in attorneys eventually, because AI is going to be your litigator in court. But white collar jobs are going to start getting hammered by AI jobs, right? It's going to replace a lot of the white collar jobs. So this interview I was watching, he was an economist, and he was talking about the impact, and we're not going to see it right away. This is going to be a delayed effect after this thing starts taking root. Is remember back during the mid 2000s, right? The housing price of the CDOs, the consolidated debt obligations that were being done, and all the funky stuff that the bank was doing, right? And how that impacted the economy, and the whole world, really. So he's like, AI, once it starts taking those white collar jobs, I'm talking the executive level, C-suite jobs on down, HR, everything. Well, the banks, he said, depend on those people, because those people make the dollars. Those people are the most secure people to give loans to, the less risky, right? So he said, once AI comes in full effect, and they start taking these jobs, these people can't go find jobs. So now you're going to have a trickle effect of a massive default rate with these banks. Then the bank's going to be coming to the government for another bailout. He said, watch and see what happens over the course of time, how this thing plays out against, with the banking system, and how it's going to affect the economy. He was making some really interesting points about all that stuff.
Yeah, like 90% of the consumer spending in the country right now is up by like the top 10%. And if you automate like 2% of that top 10%, that's a massive chunk of the spending in the country that evaporates.
Yeah, I mean, but so you would think that it wouldn't happen, but I don't know. I mean, he made a lot of sense. The way
it may make a lot of sense, but how many CEOs are going to allow AI to get to that level to replace their own job? They're going to be conscious of that.
It may not be
the CEOs.
He was talking about C-suite levels, so it could be the vice president. The
CEOs still report to a board of directors and the shareholders. It's going to be the shareholders that demand that these guys get automated. If they can,
it all boils down to one thing: just like we were talking about earlier, replacing trucking jobs, saving employment taxes, saving them, it all comes down to profits and greed. 100%. When you start
And the
eliminating
Kevin O'Leary
jobs, it's bullshit. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, the Kevin O'Leary thing is very interesting too. He's not unique with this. A lot of these guys that announce these like big mega projects, it's a bit of a heads I win, tails you lose situation because one, if the project does go through, they reap all the rewards. But if the locals protest, what these guys are doing is they're basically going around the country snatching up as much cheap land as they can, and then they announce these big projects, and then locals get pissed and they say, okay, if you want to stop me, buy the land back from me. So they make money regardless of what happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, AI is a great tool. I mean, I use it. I think it's good for like I like Claude. Claude Pro is great for documents or rewriting Excel, just whatever. There's a place for it. There's a creating graphics for an ad or whatever. I mean, it's a cool tool to have. But when it starts, eliminating jobs by the masses, and we're talking things like truck drivers, things that are tied to the economy, that's where I'll draw the line in the sand.
You hit the nail on the head. AI is a tool, like RMIS, highway, right? These are tools.
It's made to
if you expect these items to replace headcount, then you're using the tool incorrect.
Yeah, it's made
a human operating tool.
It's AI is made to assist, not replace.
Correct.
That's how it should be looked at. I'm gonna make a T-shirt of that: assist, not replace. But yeah,
assist intelligence. It's assist intelligence.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yep.
I think all this stuff is going to wash out eventually. Someone's going to figure out the best applications for these things. It's just in the meantime, we're going to get a lot of bumps on the road. A lot of guys are going to lose their jobs. Whatever they get replaced by is going to be. We're seeing this now. A lot of these software companies are realizing the amount of money they're spending in tokens because the cost of tokens right now keeps rising. The original idea was that the cost of tokens will go down over time, but instead they've gone up because these models are so much more complicated every time there's a new model that comes out. So they're realizing, okay, I saved a bunch of money by laying off 80% of my staff, but now the 20% that's left, they're burning through so many tokens each month or each week that it's costing us more than we ever did, just having these people back on the payroll.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of I've repeatedly call into a broker and get freaking AI, and it's like, can I please talk to a human? I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Or at least if you call in and you have to get through an AI, have that AI put you in touch with a real person.
Right.
There's that one tool.
You can always ask for that too.
There, Steve Vest did a really good video on like some AI tool he uses, where every carrier that calls him has to give their MC number to his AI tool force before he ever talks to a real person on the phone. Yeah, Wirebee. I need to write that down because that's such a cool tool.
Yeah, they're cool people, bro.
It is, and it's a great initial screening tool for brokers to use. There's no doubt about that. When I was dispatching, still, I would say probably 50% of the brokers that I would call that I would use regularly. When I go to call them, they want to know what MC number I'm representing first before they let me talk to a real human being, which I can respect that. But man, what I hated were the ones that tried negotiating rates with you. AI trying to negotiate rates? Jesus Christ, man, I just hang up.
Yeah. But, with that, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of unknowns, and, things will just have to start playing out and, watch the reaction of the world and the public and people,
what comes around goes around.
Yeah.
I'll just age myself, and I always do. But back in 1980, we didn't have any of this kind of stuff. And it was either a do or die situation. As the evolution of technology grew from the 80s to the 90s, 2010, 20s, you had to adapt. You have to have a chameleon. You had to change your skin and learn those systems. The amount of systems that I learned over time, incredible. We're at the same juncture right now, except the technology is moving faster. What's here today will change within 2 to 3 months because of all the the hands-on to make the best technology that we can possibly have. So within a few weeks after learning one AI tool, that thing's going to change completely, and you'll have to retrain yourself. You're always in retraining mode.
Well,
If you don't adapt, you're going to lose badly.
Jeff.
Well, that's one of the things about AI. Okay, you may know what you do with AI today. Tomorrow, you're going to learn something new that you can do with AI, and it's going to keep evolving because AI just keeps getting smarter and smarter and smarter, and that's all well and good. I mean, when the SCOTUS decision came down, I dropped the SCOTUS decision into my AI. I dropped in some other documents that I was doing and trying to prepare an audit for the task force, and it spit out a wonderful audit that would coincide with requirements under the new under the SCOTUS ruling, and it was absolutely beautiful. I had to do a couple minor tweaks. This is not perfect,
right?
But it was beautiful, and I get so much more done. Yes, that's great, but it is a tool. People need to understand these are tools. You need to know how to use the tools. Kind of like Jeff likes to talk about the tire iron. When you go to change a tire, the tire iron itself is never going to change a tire for you, but it sure as hell is going to help.
Yeah. Well, to Jeff's point about the evolution of technology and everything, back, when he was talking about 100 years ago, back in his day,
100 years ago, it was a 6 millennia ago.
Everything that's come up to now was not designed and engineered to replace jobs like it is now with AI. So I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot to learn. We can, talk about it, I guess, another day.
You'll go nuts trying to figure it out.
Yep. Well, Pedro, what do you think, brother? Time to get to work or what?
Oh, I've been working, bro. That's what I've been doing, dude. That's what I do on this show, man. When I'm not running my dang, pie hole or whatever. So no, I've been sitting here sending some emails, man. Me and Hunter works for his company he works for. They specialize in wine and alcohol stuff or whatnot. So him and I are trying to find a way to like tag team prospects and stuff. He hit him from the carrier part, but maybe they don't talk to him, and I hit him from the broker part and just say, hey, I've got this badass carrier that could do this stuff for you. And unbeknownst to you, it's the other guy who's already been prospecting you. So, well, I mean, hey, it's a hard thing to get into, man. I mean, and that is literally what they do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I've been doing, is sending some emails to some wine and alcohol prospects and stuff. So, yeah bro. But everything, I mean, you guys hit everything on the head. Anyone who knows me knows I am very much against EVs and AVs. EVs pretty much across the board. I won't go dark on it, but I mean, there's a lot more there. Hey man, there's a lot more to EVs than people think about. All I'm going to say is why don't you go Google and look up where the shit to make your EV comes from and the things that human beings are subjected to pull that shit out of the ground for your fucking car. That's all I'm going to say. So if you're pro that stuff and that EV makes you feel good in your little bitty heart that you're saving the planet, when you totally are not, because storing disintegrated EV batteries is the equivalent to storing down nuclear rods. So I could go on and on about this thing. I think it is a horrible idea for EVs. Now, the battery technology for like solar and stuff, totally see that. That's a good thing. I myself would love to get that, but I just don't feel the battery technology is there yet connected with the solar panels. But, yeah, AVs, I don't like them strictly because I think it's a danger, man. There's
a lot of greasy wheels getting greased out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing.
I didn't buy an EV for the environment. Sorry.
I'm not trying to bust your balls, John, dude. I mean, hey, every consumer makes their choice based on their thing. I don't think any less of you personally, bro. I just fucking
it was all cost analysis.
But anyway, yeah, man, the AV stuff, I see it's got a place, things we talked about, like, little yards and stuff like that, but when it really comes down to it, the biggest problem I have with a lot of this is just like a lot of new emerging technologies. We talked about AI, like we are pushing them too quickly to market and in the name of making money off of them, which is great, man. We're a capitalist society. This is a capitalist planet. I'm all for that, but there are just certain things that, like you need to do extensive testing on, and they say, oh, well, we are doing testing. Well, dude, you are, but you're doing it around the motoring public and other people. So if something goes wrong, people who did not sign a waiver at your insurance company are going to be harmed. You know what I mean? So, and again, we don't know the ramifications of this stuff, right? Like we don't know.
That's something that you just said, Pedro, about, didn't sign the waiver for the insurance. So how is that? I mean, I've not done a deep dive into it, and it's something maybe we can talk about, we can extend this conversation the next week maybe, but how is this thing going to, with the insurance claims and the insurance, and are these companies going to say, well, we're just kind of like Uber did back in the day, we're just a technology company, we're not a trucking company? I
don't know enough about that. I know there is talk about it. There is talk about it here in Texas. There have been some state level, like senators, congressmen, whatever it is and whatnot, that have brought those things up. And they've said it. I haven't dug deep enough into that as well. But it is an extreme concern about that. And insurance companies, are worried about it too, because like they're obviously like, well, we still have to insure the truck, but a lot of this is I can't think of the word, but it's ground they haven't. Yeah, it's ground they haven't walked yet. You know what I mean? It's a path they haven't walked, and they're kind of still trying to figure it out. And, I bet they're all on the edge of their seat waiting for the first lawsuit to come, for the first time something goes wrong and, water gets into something it shouldn't. Yeah. That's what I mean. So I'm sure they're all sitting on the edge of their seat like, holy crap, because there is no precedent for any of this stuff. That's what all things are based off in our country when it comes to court matter, civil, or it's all based on precedent. And even when it comes to making regulation for industries like the insurance and all these things, like there is no precedent here. So like that's the other thing. We are literally just kind of flying by the seat of our pants and taking guesses, and hoping that stuff works. So, little concerning, but I mean, come on, man, we're a technology, species. This is inevitable, but like I said, my whole thing is we're just, I think, pushing stuff too fast. Solar was a very, very good example of that. Like we were really taking solar slow until like 2009, 10, when the government was like, oh, let's pour a bunch of tax incentives in it. And now look, now you have all these houses crowded with solar that works half-ass. Companies that installed it then went bankrupt, so now they can't get it fixed. It was a whole thing, dude. So I think we're facing that. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up because we need to get off here. John, what you got, dude?
Well, today on TikTok Diner, we have CDL Shorty, who's going to be joining us. He's kind of outspoken in the education on running CDLs. He's a CDL instructor. Should be a great conversation because I know he's got a lot of very significant opinions about what goes on in this industry. So it should be a very cool show.
Nice, bro. Oh, yeah. Freaking A, buddy boy. Mr. Soapbox, what you got?
Well, we had a lot of good information out here today. We talked about quite a bit about the AV trucks and what have you, and I just think that there needs to be. I'm with Pedro. There just needs to be a lot more research before they started allowing them to do what they're already allowing them to do it. They're running the road with the general public. It's what are you smiling about, John?
I'm waiting for AVs to show up in like book 4 of your Frozen Freight series.
Oh, hey. Hey, that's not a half bad idea. Come to think about it, thanks for the idea.
No problem. Just remember me when you need someone to write the foreword.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Anyway, I put out some good articles this week on LinkedIn about owner-operator companies and how owner-operators should choose their companies. Everybody go take a look at them. I think it's a 5-part series. The last ones will be coming out Friday, Monday, and Wednesday of next week. Anyway, that's all I have. Oh, and go buy my book, Frozen Freight Iron Reach, at your local on on Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
You can find it in that
Nice.
section of the convenience store where they put the black wrapper over the package.
Right. Back where the magazines are, the coloring book.
Oh man, Jeff,
Moses,
Jeff.
what you got, Moses?
What's that?
Moses, you speak.
Yeah, so I just got finished putting this together, the SCPP, which is the Supply Chain Prevention Program and partnership for shippers. A lot of people don't think of shippers; they're thinking about carriers and brokers and freight forwarders and all of that. Working on the shipper side, I went into my folders. I started pulling out a lot of stuff and then bringing in the technology and what needs to be done today to help protect the shipper when they reach out to brokers or carriers or freight forwarders or NVOCCs, whatever it might be, to protect themselves. Make sure they got the right people, the right service providers that's going to help them move forward and protect them. And I also wrote some petitions to the state of New Jersey, the governor, legislation, state police, News 12, about the idea of implementing a TWIC card for anybody that operates in the logistics industry, because I think and feel strongly that it's going to curtail and minimize freight fraud. If everybody that works in logistics have to go to a TSA certified facility to get fingerprinted and get their background check in person, not online. So I've been working on a lot of things, plus my business, which is still growing. So I'm in a good place, man. Thank you.
Let me ask you a quick question. I know we got to jump off here, but like talking about the TWIC thing. So there was something I was looking at that if they mandated TWIC, now it's going to cost drivers, what is it, like $100 or more money to spend to get their TWIC.
150, I think, for a 5 year.
Then they got to go get fingerprinted. And so remember back in the day, because we used to have a lot. Well, back when we had our trucking company, when we, back in the early days, it was required you had to have your hazmat endorsement to come drive for us, right? Because it gave us flexibility. If you're hauling like, shocks for the automotive industry or whatever, you got to have hazmat, but,
Sure.
but, a lot of drivers were, then the industry made the shift. Well, okay, we're not going to enforce it anymore. Drivers like, I don't want to be fingerprinted and I don't want people, know my full background like that. So,
But they already know that. Listen,
but
it's a huge argument that I always have. When you were born, unfortunately, your parents gave that right up to the government. They already had that when you first was on your birth certificate and your address and everything. Second one, when you get your driver's license, you had to bring in 3 forms of ID, get your picture taken and your background check.
Right.
Third, when you wanted to fly, you wanted to get your passport, you had to go in there.
You got to go get all that. Exactly.
All that.
Yep.
So don't give me this stuff that they don't want to get their fingerprint. The government already has it. What
That's
this
right.
signifies is that the person that is applying for whatever they're applying to a job in logistics has to be there in person. They get their fingerprint taken, background check, and they are there. They are identifiable at that time. That doesn't happen in the real world right now. And it will minimize that. And then the second thing is that it's up to shippers to see those and match the face to the card. And there's a lot of other different things that they can take place.
That's where the shippers need to get behind it to help enforce it. But because like when we had, when we started having that drop off of hazmat endorsed drivers, we made it a point and said, okay, it's going to benefit us as a company, and it's going to benefit the driver because it gives you flexibility of hauling more loads. It opens you up more. We started paying for that. Okay, if it's going to be $100 to go get your hazmat endorsement to go get your CDLs renewed or whatever, hey, we'll pay for it because it's going to benefit everybody.
Well,
we'll get the $100 back.
It's also tanker endorsement too.
Right.
We do that here. Matter of fact, we just started requiring our guys to get hazmat, not because we haul hazmat.
It just opens you up to more opportunities.
Right. It opens us up, and that's what I told
haul
all the
bombs.
guys.
Another
You go get it. You go get it. I'll pay for it.
Yeah,
I'll pay for it. I don't mind
Here's
paying
the thing.
for it because in the end, it's going to make me more money.
If you haul a trailer load of Windex, you got to have a hazmat,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
and it's Windex. I mean, okay, so now but yeah, I mean, it opens up. Yeah, opens you up to it gets you flexibility to haul more freight because there's a lot of that kind of stuff out there, and people don't really think about that. Well, damn, if I'm hauling Windex like this much on a 53-foot trailer and stuff, I got to have hazmat because it's the ammonia in there and stuff. The level
and the shippers got the shippers just because you say, yeah, do you have a hazmat certificate and whatever, anybody can say anything, but you have to show them something
right
that shows that
right.
that picture is you, that's your truck, that's your MC, that's your DOT, that's your name. Yep, this is the guy that I'm supposed to load.
Yeah.
Time can cost you a lot of money, and close your doors. They need to start taking those extra steps and stop shutting the doors on the drivers and think more than just saving damn money on freight. They have to take additional steps in order to protect themselves, their brand, their image, and their reputation. For everybody that works in logistics, I got mine. I got nothing to hide. Go ahead, check my background. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Seriously, I think anybody in the industry that cares about the industry should take that next step and do that.
Yep. Pedro, your turn, brother.
Let me see what I got. Yeah. Today, after this, let's see, 4:00 today. I'm going to go chill with Charles on Sirius XM. I don't know what we're talking about. Don't ask me. He just said, "You want to come on show?" I was like, "Sure." So yeah, whatever that's going to be about. I'm sure it'll be fun though. So do that tomorrow. Got this guy James Year that I was talking about earlier coming on the show. Again, really great guy. He's an Air Force veteran. I mean, does photography, videography. I mean, he's the picture actually on his flyer is of him doing photography at Chernobyl. So, I mean, this guy is been there, done it, done a lot of cool stuff. Very interesting individual. And he's very, very passionate about the trucking industry and putting a lot of work into helping us kind of solve and navigate navigate and solve some of these problems that we were talking about today. So that's tomorrow, 4 p.m. And I mean, that's all I got, I guess. Just thanks everybody for watching as always. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone. What about you, Mr. Squire?
Just take advantage this week of the Memorial 30% off your coffee orders. Just type in code Memorial 30. It's going to run through the weekend. We decided to do it all week versus just one day. Give everybody a shot. And go to YouTube and subscribe to the Road Dog Coffee podcast. And yeah. And buy Tony Justice's coffee. That's what I'm drinking. The Last of the Cowboys. That stuff is amazing. Support Tony Justice. So Last of the Cowboys, roaddogcoffee.com.
Heck yeah, bro.
Good guy.
Love it. What a good show.
How about you, Pedro?
I already said what I had to say. Seashells, Jeff wasn't even fucking listening.
No,
I'm unimportant. It's cool, bro. It's cool. My wife don't listen to me. Plugs. Yeah. I'm focused, man. I'm trying to get some money, dude. I mean, I don't know, even though times are hard right now, I can get all the business I want. Still moving freight is a freaking pain in the ass right now.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm so glad I don't sling freight anymore.
Everybody be safe out there on the highways.
That's it. Everybody be safe.
Driverless trucks.
Peace out.
Out of the way.
Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Thank you.
Everybody have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. We're going to roll some beautiful bean footage.